The Trump campaign team is slamming states' attempts to prevent the former president from appearing on the 2024 presidential election ballot using the 14th Amendment. So a Trump campaign spokesperson telling Fox News Digital, quote, there is no legal basis for this effort except in the minds of those who are pushing it. This is nothing more than a blatant attempt by enemies of America to create fake excuses and use lawfare to deprive voters of choosing their next president. Joining me now, former Acting U.S. Attorney General Matt Whitaker. Matt, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to be with you.
Yeah, your response to the new term lawfare, and more importantly, your response to these states that are trying to use, to be clear, this is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which we haven't seen used since the Confederacy.
Yeah, this is a novel legal theory, and I was on Sean Hannity's show last night talking about this same topic. And, you know, the point that I think everyone needs to understand is that you can use these novel legal theories like they do, for example, in Georgia with the RICO statutes and use those to try to apply it to, you know, political speech. But this is so far out of the mainstream of legal thought, and the folks that are advancing this claim, I think, are just looking for any way to take the decision out of the American people's hands. Remember, the 14th Amendment was passed in the context of the Civil War. Everyone knew what a rebellion was. They knew what the rebels were. You know, hundreds of thousands of Americans died fighting each other to preserve the Union and to prevent the South from seceding. And then you roll forward over 100 years, and you end up right now and trying to apply that same constitutional amendment that, you know, again, everyone at the time understood what that meant. I think it is so far of an extension that it breaks the law. And as it relates to the word lawfare, this is something that has kind of continued to develop where, you know, lawyers go after, people based on filing lawsuits, filing ethics complaints, and just gum up the system and try to use the law and, again, take it out of the American people's hands. It's a very concerning recent development over probably the last decade.
Brian Bradbury, Junk Ben, you're nodding your head as he's speaking about
Well,
this.
when you mention gumming up the system, Matt, that totally resonates with me, and I think it resonates with a lot of people because they look at all of these cases brought against the former president, and they say the point is not to make a valid legal argument. The point is simply to hang so many things on the former president that he can't move. And to me, that might be the biggest abuse of political power in the country right now. And I think that's why we talk about the economy versus other issues. I actually think that issue is dominating all other issues right now, Matt.
Yeah, you're so right, Brian. It's good to see you, my friend. What is happening, I think, is the punishment is the process. And now we have, four litigation, criminal litigation that all require lawyers, all in different, states and jurisdictions. So 4 different legal teams. Millions of dollars in legal fees. And if Donald Trump wasn't wealthy, this would have broken him. Any other ordinary citizen, any other person that didn't have his kind of wealth would have been broken. And obviously his loyal base that believes in him and understands why he is being attacked in this way is supporting him through this. And in fact, he's getting stronger. And I think that's the thing that a lot of the individuals on the left that are, sort of breathlessly encouraging these cases and are excited about them, don't understand is that they're actually making him stronger.
Well, and the Wall Street Journal had a great opinion piece over the weekend that talked about this and said, why, try and go use this section of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution? Just let the voters decide. Nobody needs to go to court. Nobody needs to take candidates off the ballot. The voters have minds. They can pick for themselves who they want to see in office without their interference. I thought that was a good point. I want to move on to this. So James Comer has issued subpoenas for Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and actually several other DHS and Secret Service officials. He wants documents and testimony related to the Secret Service's alleged tip-off of the Biden transition team when there was a planned Hunter Biden tax probe interview from the IRS, the FBI. All of this happened back in 2020. It's the tip-off that he seems to be most interested in. Your reaction?
Well, as you know, I'm a former U.S. attorney in my home state of Iowa, and what I know is that there is a certain protocol, a regular order for conducting investigations. And in every single step of the way, the Hunter Biden case was handled differently than any other case that I've experienced. And I did that job for 5.5 years. I was at Maine Justice for 2 years, and in each situation, we always tried to instill regular order. We never tried to give, favor to any defendant just because of their particular situation. We ran these cases the same, and we pushed them down to the field so that the agents were actually doing the investigations together with the assistant U.S. attorneys. In this case, it is treated so differently, and they need to get to the bottom of how his trial team and his defense lawyers found out about all of these important developments. And
I'm sure that he will. Before I let you go, really quick, former President Trump is heading to Ames, Iowa for that Cy-Hawk game between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa State Cyclones. So you played 3 seasons as a tight end for the Hawkeyes, and then you invited President Trump for the game this weekend. So obviously he said yes, as we just reported. What can you tell us?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as you know, University of Iowa is tight end university, and I was a proud legacy tight end in that a generation ago. But, my friend Jack Whitver, who's the Senate Majority Leader, and I decided, he played at Iowa State, I played at Iowa, we decided we'd invite Donald Trump to the Iowa State game and share kind of the experience that really only is unique to that rivalry.
All right. Well, very, very cool. Glad that he accepted. It's going to be fun to watch the game. It's apparently going to be on Fox, I just learned this morning. So
it should be a great time.
AG Matt Whitaker, it's great to see you. I'm such the NFL gal. What can I say? But I will be watching college football this weekend because of this. Thank you, sir.